When we're having purposeful conversations, it's critical that you're able to self-reflect. A bit like Verity said earlier in the course. That means the impact you have through the message you deliver needs to leave the other person engaged. Now, we're dealing with human behaviour, which means finding a way of understanding that is not often easy. So we're going to give you a tool. Now, we use this tool in Purple Story an awful lot. It's called the engagement ladder. It's a ladder with 5 rungs on it. We use it in lots of different contexts, but in this context today, it's where somebody is on the ladder after you've given them that correction or even that praise. But let's assume it's correction at this point. I'm just going to draw the ladder out. As we can tell, I'm not going to win any awards for art. So this is a ladder, 5 rungs on it. The person that you are having the conversation with, if they leave you completely apathetic, that they don't even really know what they've done wrong, then we call them a sleepwalker. And the sleepwalker is where you've had no impact on them whatsoever through that conversation. In fact, why did you even waste your time? If you have that correction conversation and you deliver it in an obnoxiously aggressive way that leaves that person feeling a little bruised, then the likelihood is they're going to be a neg ferret. And the neg ferret after a correction conversation is definitely not going to do what you want them to do, but even worse, they're going to go and tell everyone else that you are an absolute tyrant. I nearly used a word there I shouldn't do. They're going to go and badmouth you, which is not going to be helpful for a high performance culture. When you have the conversation with somebody, and it's kind of okay, the person gets it, they're there, but it's a bit vanilla, there's no real emotion in it, you're going to leave that person grudgingly compliant. Now, when we leave somebody grudgingly compliant, what it means is they'll go and do it, they'll correct whatever it is, but their heart's not into it. And the likelihood is that it's not going to stick. They might do it 1 or 2 times, but they're doing it because you told them to do it, not because they want to do it for you or they're necessarily engaged in it. Now, grudgingly compliant is the minimum that you want after that correction conversation, because at least we're changing something. What we really want is the top 2 rungs of this ladder. When we have that purposeful conversation, we're really good at building strong working relationships with our team. Therefore, we can have that conversation and the person receiving it will be open, they'll understand it, they'll go and make a change, and they'll thank you for that correction. That's somebody that we call willingly compliant. They're going to do it and they're likely not going to need you to ever tell them again, because they're doing it for you. Not because it's a job, they respect you, they understand, they're thankful for what we've done. And then the final one, and this is the one that is like the absolute epic outcome of that purposeful conversation, where that person almost becomes your influencer themselves of that correction. And what do I mean by that? Well, you give somebody some correction, let's assume it's that age-old, pick the glasses up from the bottom, not the top. Now, when you give them that correction, not only are they open, they thank you, they're like, oh, I'm never going to do that again, but they also then go and tell everybody else that they see, so they end up doing your job for you to a certain extent, because you've corrected them, they are engaged and excited in the standards that you're setting and that correction, that they go and pass that on. At the end of every purposeful conversation, really challenge yourself to think, where did I leave that person on my ladder? Now, I'm not perfect, and I use this model all the time. And I do leave people grudgingly compliant as a minimum, but Sometimes I know I don't leave them engaged and excited because I may not have delivered the correction using the 7 C's. Or I may not have spent enough time delivering it in a way that connects with them. That's on me, not on them. So the engagement ladder is a tool for you to reflect on how well you are delivering purposeful conversations that engage somebody to make a difference.